In today's video, I'm going to share with you the most influential health and wellness books that I've read that changed my life personally and professionally, and I think they might be impactful for you. So let's get into my favorite books. Welcome, happy spring. I'm so excited. I first want to tell you that these flowers are from my garden. I'm super excited to share with you actually a video that's been requested by so many of you. And so I'm compiling my personal and professional books that have changed my life in a very positive way. They all have a health and wellness kind of flair to them. And so in my early 20s, that's really what kind of kicked off my journey in the healing world, and kind of took my sales and marketing early career into study of nutrition, and finished a master's and have a doctorate in naturopathic medicine and several post-doctorate certifications and even another master's program. And so these books have literally changed my life. And I want to share with you the book that I found at a local GNC in Tampa when I found out that I had a really severe case of Epstein-Barr and mono, and my body was literally melting down. I was falling asleep at my desk is how bad it was, and I had colleagues that were like, something's wrong with you. And so this really started my journey. I went to a GNC and looked up mono. The doctor didn't really give me a whole lot of great recommendations, and so I realized I had to fix this to get better, to figure out what was wrong and to heal. This book, The Immune System Cure, it's how to optimize your immune system in 30 days, the natural way. This was literally life-changing. I dug into this book and it was like, oh, I swear, light still comes out of this book and hits me. And this was so impactful. I learned a lot about the immune system. I learned about the digestive system. It set me on a journey of understanding the mind-body connection and our thoughts and our how what we're eating impacts how our brain is functioning. It was quite impactful, and in fact it really helped me heal and boost my immune system because it was so retarded. Literally, it was strained. The next book kind of segues into it is Louise Hay's Heal Your Body. I consider this my Bible. I use this still professionally, and I still use it personally. This really connects the mental thought process, what words, what language we're using internally, the internal speak that we have, the dialogue, the mental mindsets, and how it specifically relates to our issues. So she's amazing. If you haven't found and discovered Louise Hay, she'll change your life. And I actually met her at one of the conferences, and it was just amazing. She was an angel on earth. This book, Heal Your Body, focuses on the mental cause of physical illness, and so how our brain manifests physical symptoms. It was quite impactful. The other book, and this is Wayne Dyer, this book's changed many people's lives. Even Ellen DeGeneres has been impacted by this. Manifesting your destiny and really kind of calibrating your brain and your thought to welcome goodness and healing and wholeness into your life. This was extremely impactful, more so personally and then professionally, because I was making a big career change and leaving the career world and going back to school again, and for a prolonged period of time. That was significant. And I actually met Wayne Dyer as well, and he was amazing. And so those two, Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay, by far are so amazing. The two professionally oriented books were primarily in my certification for my lymphatic drainage therapy, the manual lymph drainage, the Vater technique textbook. This, as you can tell, it's flagged. Some of the pages are ripped, but I still reference, same with this, the comprehensive lymphedema management. I'm a lymphedema therapist, and I do all types of lymphatic drainage on folks. This changed my professional life in so many ways, because lymphatics is core for everything. Core for stress management, it's core for detoxification, it's core for healing, it's core for your immune system. It is crucial. And so I work with many different people of all different health issues, and even folks that want anti-aging. The lymphatics is really key for that. So now I want to dig into the stuff that I really love. I geek out over the China study. So I've actually been really lucky enough to meet T. Colin Campbell. This book is a foundational book that focuses on nutrition and healing and nutrition and illness. And he studied nutrition science, and really gives us a better idea of how food is used by the food industry to cause us to eat more and to consume more unhealthy things. And this study, the China study, is actually an analysis of Taiwan. And the Taiwanese were showing high levels of liver cancer. And what his study with the National Institute of Health analyzed was that their consumption of dairy and their consumption of peanut butter was causing these high rates of liver cancer. And that just opened Pandora's box in terms of just how awful the food industry is to our well-being, and the conspiracy behind the FDA and the manufacturers and big agra. And so I've been involved in a lot of documentaries related to this topic, and the one more recently that I got involved with, the producer, was Plant Pure Nation. And that, if you haven't checked that out, I'm going to provide a link below. Amazing, amazing. The politics behind the food industry, and how our children, our school systems are being impacted by this, and how it's crazy. It's behind our obesity epidemic and our chronic illness. And so that is a comprehensive study of nutrition and illness. And then for me, it's segued into being exposed to Michael Pollan. So I actually have a ton of his books. This is just one, but I literally have a professional crush on Michael Pollan. And so if anybody watching this knows him, works for him, I literally want to meet Michael Pollan and interview him on my channel, because I think he is so amazing. His focus is actually the economics of the food industry, and breaks down the Western diet and how poor and awful it is for our bodies. And I just love him. I literally have a crush on Michael Pollan. So anything he's written, you will love. The introduction I had to him was actually on a CD. A friend passed on a long, decade and a half ago. She passed on The Cornification of America, I think is the name of it, The Cornification. And it was a lecture about how corn was literally in our DNA, and how a mass spectroscope could look at like our nail cells and see that corn had manifested its way into our being. And so we are corn people. We're literally walking tortilla chips. And so, yeah, I geek out over that, because as a nutritionist, that's really a big focus, because if we can improve our nutrition, we can improve our health and wellness and healing. So yeah, so Michael Pollan, anything, I read everything coming out, every TED Talk. I'm a huge fan. And if I lived on the West Coast, I'd probably be taking all of his classes all the time. So the other book that was more recently influential was, and actually all of her books, Ina May, and it's her guide to childbirth. So as many of you know, I have a toddler, and I grew up saying I was going to birth like a Sherpa, and that stuck with me during the pregnancy. And at some point I'm going to chronicle that whole experience and my protocols that I used, and a plan and a course for women. But it allowed me to birth Gabriel the way I wanted, and just gave me some really great midwifery wisdom that our doctors are not talking about in the OBGYN world. And so if you have any expecting moms in your life, or you're expecting or going to have kids, this is a great book to get started. And it could be eye-opening, some of the stories, but I implemented a lot of what she recommended. And we had a speedy active labor, like less than 6 hours. So it was a shock to all the doctors how fast things were moving, because I was a first-time mom. And she's amazing. She has one on breastfeeding as well. And I'm going to have a video on that very soon too. So those were the books that were most impactful. And then, of course, Deepak Chopra has always been an impactful author. I haven't dug fully into this. I just went to this lecture that he had up here about a month ago. And I've got this. I started reading it. I am going to do a book review. And so if you are new to my channel, I hope you'll subscribe, because I want to dig into the philosophies and the science and the information that he imparts, that we actually can heal our bodies. And it's literally connecting a lot of this, all of this kind of together. And how, like with Louise Hay, what she talks about, the mind, you can change your philosophy and change your thought pattern, and how it literally manifests healing. He has the science behind that. This book's really exciting because it breaks out the neuroscience and the functionality of our cells and our DNA, and epidemiology, which is really big, and epigenetics. That is a huge wave, and all of the conferences I go to about gut health, epigenetics is key. And we can actually turn on genes and we can turn off genes. This book, I'm going to do a review about how you can turn on genes for healing and turn off the genes for illness. And no book has ever detailed this. And so this is quite revolutionary. I'm super excited to share this with you in the next few weeks. So those are my books, my favorite books. So I have a question for you. What are your favorite health and wellness books? Please share with us. I always love reading your comments, and would love to put those on my reading list if I haven't read them, and affirm that they're awesome books, and just share that wealth of knowledge and information here with our community. So thanks again, folks, for tuning in. As always, I'm grateful for your time, and just want to thank you all for your viewership and support. We reached 11,000 subscribers just this weekend, and I'm just flabbergasted that I reached so many of you, and that many of you feel inspired. So thank you. It means a lot to me. I'm so grateful that I can impart health and wellness knowledge and expertise to you in this amazing digital format. So thank you.